All right, we are in week 12, winding things down. And we are going to go through chapter 13. Remember, the meat of Noakes's book is chapters 1 through 4. I go through chapter 13 because it is on ergogenic age and it is a good topic to cover. But our level of knowledge and understanding of ergogenic age continues to evolve. And so this is a little tougher topic to tackle right now. And what's important to recognize is a lot of times we look at ergogenic age, or we hear that, and we may actually think of illegal ergogenic age or illegal ergo work genic that or things that are helping work be done. And we often think about illegal ergogenic age, like steroids and in blood infusions and EPO, and they are illegal, and there's a reason for them being illegal. So it's often a health issue in terms of athlete health. And but there's a whole host of legal ergogenic aids. And in this chapter, he covers those as well. And it is important to recognize that ergogenic aids aren't necessarily all nutritionally based or medicinally based. Ergogenic aids can actually be things like compression socks or some type of shoe that you wear to aid in locomotion. So ergogenic aids or different types of swimsuits or swim skins or fabrics used. They can come in all different flavors, but this one is focused more on this chapter is more focused on the nutrition aspect of ergogenic aids. So we'll go ahead and watch that video. This will be the last chapter that we'll cover in this semester. And okay, now I do have a podcast on doping, and I always call these my immersion videos, and they are, as such. Just highlight those. And the podcast one is interesting because this is with a person, Uli, who is a race director of some major events, and he is very much an advocate for clean sport. And clean sport goes well beyond our professional athletes, and clean sport really applies to age group athletes or mere mortals. And the challenge often is not necessarily regulating professional athletes, because there are, that is a limited pool. But age group athletes are a much bigger pool. And it is often hard to know what type of testing or what level of testing should be done to account for illegal use of ergogenic aids. And unfortunately, it's a problem in age groups like mine, where male athletes in particular can visit a doctor and get testosterone for health issues, or go under testosterone therapy. That's illegal. You are not allowed to do that without a therapeutic use exemption submitted and approved by US, the doping agency, and they hardly ever approve those. So this is an issue, and it does come into play with age group sports, and especially age group endurance sports, where athletes have access to ergogenic aids that are maybe legal in some level for health, but illegal for competition. And so this becomes an interesting discussion to have. And one that athletes often need to struggle with is that if they need to take something that is illegal for competition, they may need to take it for health reasons. Well, then it may just be that they are no longer able to compete in events. And I know that sounds harsh, but that is the type of dialogue that people are having right now with themselves, especially as they get older, and with others. So this podcast is, I hope, interesting, and you will see it from a race director perspective in terms of what he's trying to do to advocate a clean sport. They also have a presentation here that I did. I think this one is from Japan. We're bridging the gap between research and application. And you've heard me talk about this with this class especially. This is an upper division class, and I certainly want you to learn certain concepts and terms in this class. But I also really want you to learn how to pull the information from this class in with information from other classes to understand something. And in this case, our case for this semester, it's been to understand endurance performance. And when watching each of you build your projects over the semester and looking at the information you've sent me from papers you found or concepts that you're relying on, I really see you folks doing that really well in bridging between different areas. And even more so, bridging the gap between research and application, or what does a person out in the real world need to know about certain research studies. And so hopefully you find that interesting and you see how I approach that issue. But I really feel in my approach to research, I am trying to generate answers that are helpful to the real world most of the time. Sometimes I just like to ask questions because they're interesting and they may not have an application, and that's okay too. But we do, when we start doing this type of work and trying to help athletes in endurance performance, we are trying to look at the literature, understand the empirical evidence for a particular question, and then draw on the literature as well as our level of knowledge of the sport and maybe even anecdotes to come up with an answer or an approach to helping an endurance athlete. So, watch that presentation as well. And again, it's harder to draw questions for exams from those presentations, but I believe me, if you go down this path and you're watching these immersion videos, you will do better on exams because you understand the context that questions are being asked or why some of those questions are being asked and why they're important. Okay, I didn't change this text here. I'm going to change it now. Okay, the semester project 12, time to turn in your link. I'm not actually going to have your link due until the end of week 13, but I'm going to open up this assignment so you can go ahead and turn in your YouTube link for the semester project. Okay. And again, all I want is the link. Don't submit the file, don't submit the MP4, don't submit the AVI file, submit the link only, because then I'm going to take that link and I'm going to push it out to the entire class, and other folks in the class will be watching your presentation. Okay, so keep that in mind, just the link. And so I'm going to open it up for you to start uploading your link. That will be open until the end of week 13. All right, thanks everybody.